It's just... There we go. Meeting's been recorded. So next slide, please, Munira. So as usual, the meeting's been recorded. If you're a bit shy and you don't want to be recorded, you can always use the chat. You can email us anytime. It doesn't have to be in a meeting. You can ask questions. Feel free, just stick your hand up or shout out. It's pretty informal. So however you want to contact us, you're welcome. And if you're a bit shy, that's fine too. You can do it in the chat. Next slide, please. So on the agenda today, we've got our year. Pip Keeley is going to be talking about our year. And then the Babby Project, born and bred in Wakefield. Erin's unfortunately unwell today, so my colleague Claire's going to say a few words about that, and we can circulate some slides after. We've got a winter wellness update from Ebony from our comms team, and then Darsha is going to talk about involvement. I'm going to say a few words about the big conversation and invite you to some papyrus suicide training. Next slide, please. Oh, actually, it's the next set of slides. So this is Pip Keeley, who's going to be talking.
Sorry.
Hello, Pip.
Hello. Do you want me to share the slides, Tracy? I've got them ready.
I think she's on it, my darling. She's there. Look, she's on it. So welcome to our meeting. It's lovely to see you.
Thank you, and thanks very much for having me here. So I'm not going to talk for too long today, but I just wanted to give a bit of an introduction for those of you who haven't heard about it, to our year, Wakefield District 2024. So this sort of started life a couple of years ago when Wakefield District decided that we were going to bid to be City of Culture 2025. You probably know, sorry, next slide, please. So you probably know that Bradford ended up getting City of Culture, but because there'd been quite a bit of sort of build-up and excitement about the bid, we decided that we were going to go ahead and do it anyway. And you might know this fits into sort of a wider West Yorkshire cultural moment, in that we've got Leeds 2023, their year of culture this year, and Kirklees year of music. Next year is our year, and then Culturedale in Calderdale. And then, of course, all culminating in Bradford 2025. So we're hoping it's going to be, you know, a big few years for the district in terms of the way that we think about culture, and the way that, you know, we access it and participate in it. I'm going to come on to the video in just a moment. But basically what it is it's sort of, we've got a lot of festivals and events around the district already. We've got some fantastic cultural institutions, you know, the Yorkshire Sculpture Park, the Hepworth Wakefield, and then we've also got fantastic community groups throughout the district who put on their own sort of events and activities. So we're kind of trying to get away from the idea of culture being all about, you know, the ballet and the opera and thinking about, you know, highbrow things like that. And we're trying to get people to think about, you know, what does culture really mean in Wakefield District, whether that's rugby, you know, food, sports, music, anything like that. So it's about bringing it all together really, and having sort of a big celebration of the culture of Wakefield District. So I've got just a 5-minute video to share with you, if that's all right, if you wouldn't mind popping that. Hopefully the sound's going to work. I have done a test, so we'll see. Oh no. I can't hear that. Can anyone else?
No, neither can I.
No. Oh dear. Well, maybe what I can do is I could just share the link so people can watch the video in their own time.
Well, if you just give us a moment, on the share screen button at the bottom, Munira, where it's green, there's an advanced sharing option, and I wonder if it might be under there. Oh no, it's not. It's just saying many participate. No.
Yeah, it's not in.
No. Kerry, you're a whiz on Zoom. Can you remember how to share the putting you on the spot here? Can you remember how to share the volume?
I was just trying to find it.
Let's have a look under the mar. Let's try that.
There is a setting on Zoom, but it's so long since I've used it, I can't remember.
Yeah, me too. Pip, did you say that you tried it and it worked? Did it work just for your PowerPoint or did it work on Zoom? Do you know?
Yeah, it was on Zoom. I tested it with a colleague this morning and she said she could hear it. Shall I
Do you want to try sharing your slide
Yeah.
then, if you won't mind? Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll try that.
Uh,
There is a way, but I honestly can't remember.
so if I share. Can you see my screen now?
We can, yes. Yay!
You can hear it. Oh, perfect.
Yay.
I'll let that play then.
We know that residents recognise the positive impact that culture and creativity can have on their lives. We also believe that investment in cultural activity improves our district by supporting the economy and attracting visitors, improving our places and increasing local pride by providing communities with creative skills and access to quality employment opportunities, bringing communities together and providing moments of wonder. It can also help us address wider challenges, such as the climate emergency, in new, creative ways.
Our year, Wakefield District 2024, is our opportunity to shine a light on our district. It is an invitation to enjoy 366 days of culture, creativity, and connection for everyone, everywhere. Built on strong foundations and rooted in collaboration, our year will develop thriving cultural and creative communities, supporting people and businesses to flourish. Rooted in the strong heritage and cultural offer across our district, it will build on the existing work and incredible places we call home to strengthen our community's involvement and pride.
Crossings and Gateways will deliver a district-wide programme of public art in all its forms, anchoring and celebrating our local stories and geography across communities and at key gateway sites.
Our stories will explore and celebrate the diversity and richness of our district's heritage and traditions. It will capture and reimagine our many remarkable stories and create a unique portrait of our district for future generations.
The Roving Festival will celebrate the breadth of our open spaces and encourage residents and visitors to connect with the outdoors and be more active.
Nurture and Nourish will boost community engagement in our district's food system and help wider work to address food scarcity, bringing people together through a number of community gatherings and celebrations.
Creativity Around the Corner will tell the stories of the contemporary world of work in the Wakefield district. By embedding diverse creatives into key employers during 2024, the project will showcase our modern industry while celebrating our heritage.
Our festivals and events programme will bring together hundreds of thousands of residents and visitors to celebrate, connect and make memories in the district through free, large-scale events and jaw-dropping performances.
Our Young People's Programme will provide year-round opportunity to engage in culture and creativity for our youngest residents, with a focus on schools and creative learning. Combining a formal schools programme with our established creative summer school, activity during 2024 will reach children, educators, schools and community settings in every ward.
Key to the North will provide an aspirational series of talks and events, encouraging residents and creative practitioners to engage with new topics, acquire skills, and develop their creative interests.
The community programme will take a hyper-local approach to connect to residents via known, trusted and respected community anchor organisations. Our volunteering programme will champion local voices and skills further by coordinating volunteer opportunities across the programme.
Our commitment to building on brilliance will see collaboration at the core of our year. The programme will showcase our many amazing cultural and heritage assets and organisations and increase access across our communities. Our partners have committed to tailoring their programming and producing special events to ensure we collectively make the most of the district's amazing cultural assets.
Wakefield Exchange will launch in 2024, transforming a disused landmark building in the heart of Wakefield city centre. This flagship DCMS funded development will provide a vibrant mix of creative event and exhibition space, supported by a curated independent food and beverage offer, alongside creative business incubation and skills spaces.
Finally, our Culture Grants programme will enable our communities and creative sector to deliver their own projects, activities and artworks throughout our year, building a legacy of participation and ownership at a local level.
We cannot wait for you to join us on this journey. This is our year.
Right, there we go. I will stop sharing, if that's all right.
Wow, that is pretty impressive.
Yes, you can see there's absolutely loads going on. Yeah, lots of big events. I don't know if you guys might have heard about the Hatchling, which is going to be a very exciting event in August that involves, it's essentially a giant dragon puppet that's going to hatch. It's going to walk around Wakefield city centre. And then on the third day, it's going to take flight over Pugneys Country Park and sort of fly around the park. So that's going to be a really fantastic sort of wow moment, I think. So coming back to sort of how you guys can get involved, community groups. Next slide, thank you. So we're inviting community groups to become community partners for our year. What that means essentially is if you've got any sort of events or activities planned throughout the year, we would love to know about it and we would love to have that as part of the Our Year programme. So it'll be on the website. We'll put sort of any logo branding or anything like that on there. And then the idea is then that should hopefully sort of expand the audience, get people to maybe try going to something that they've never been to before. And in return, we're going to be sending out community packs to community partners. So that will involve Our Year bunting and sort of tips and guidance for putting on your events. And those are going to be sent out late in December, I think, in time for sort of the launch in January. So if we could go to the next slide, please. So we heard about a few of the strands there in the video, and there's some that are probably more suited if community groups wanted to get involved with those. So the Nurture and Nourish strand, as it said, that's all about sort of healthy eating, sustainable food growth. So, you know, ways that community groups might want to get involved. Perhaps they want to put on sort of a cooking workshop or maybe a community picnic or something like that. I mean, you know, we're very open to other suggestions if people have got ideas as well. Next slide, please. Our stories. So this strand is sort of focused on the heritage of the district. So we're going to be working with communities to sort of capture stories, sort of what makes your area distinctive. And then they're sort of collecting all of that information to create, we don't know yet, maybe a book or a film, something like that, that really sort of encapsulates all of that information, with the idea that that can be used to inform an exhibition in the new Wakefield Museum when it opens. So again, community groups might want to get involved. They might want to host a heritage talk, or perhaps even just bringing together the group so that they can discuss stories from your area. Next slide, please. So I'm trying to whiz through because I'm aware it's a time constraint. Festival of Movement. So that was referred to as the Roving Festival in the video. In fact, it's now called the Moving Festival, so forgive me if I got that wrong on the slide there. But essentially, this is all about getting people active, getting out in sort of the green spaces around the district. There's going to be a programme of walks and cycles, one of each every month throughout the district. But it might be that you want to put on your own walks if there's, you know, something in your local area that you think people might be interested to get out and see, or cycling, or perhaps you might want to put on some refreshments if you're on you know, an existing walk route. So yeah, anything like that we'd love to hear about. And next slide, please. Key to the North, that's all about sort of inspirational talks from local people sort of involved in the creative industries. So we've got a few lined up already with authors, BBC presenters, but, you know, there might be somebody more local to your area that you think people would be interested in hearing from. So, you know, you might wish to put on your own Key to the North event. And next slide, please. The volunteering programme, this is going to be launching in January. So we are sort of asking people if they're interested in getting involved, or if they just want to hear about it, then do get in touch and let us know. And once that launches, then we'll be sending out more information about how you can get involved. But ideally, we're looking for lots of different opportunities around the district so people can build their skills, sort of meet new people, and just get that sort of sense of well-being, I think, that people often get from volunteering. Next slide, please. Culture grants, you might have heard this mentioned in the video there as well. So this is a programme that we've been running for a few years, and it's being expanded for 2024. So we're offering culture grants to community groups who want to put on their own cultural and creative activities. So there's micro grants of up to £1,500, the Culture Everywhere micro grants, and there's I might put it on the next page, that every month we've got deadlines for submission. So, you know, if you've got some of the things that we've funded before, so the Darrington Village Field Trust put on the Feast and Fair Festival this year. We had Portobello Gala this year as well. Clarence Park Festival. I mean, these are some of the maybe larger things, but, you know, smaller activities are also supported. So yeah, if you want to know more about this, if you could just go to the next slide, sorry. Thank you. So you can find out information about this on the Wakefield Council website, and we've got an email address there if you did want to find out more about, if you've got any questions about your specific project. But there is quite a wide array of guidance on the website. So yeah, have a little look there first. And if you've still got questions, then yeah, please feel free to email through to Culture Grants. Okay, and next slide. Oh, and that's it. So if you're interested, if your community group are interested in becoming a community partner, all you need to do is send an email to this email address and let us know the name of your community group and where you're based. There's no commitment really. All you're committing to there is that you're going to be on our email list. So we'll be communicating regularly with community partners about opportunities that become available, how you might be able to access the grants and bursaries, things like that. Okay, that's it. Is there any questions? Sorry, I really whizzed through that.
Wow, whistle stop tour. That sounds so amazing. What a fabulous project to be working on, Pip.
Yeah, I know. It's very exciting. Yes, hopefully it should be a great success.
A brilliant year. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions for Pip? It's not like Teams, is it? You can put your hand up.
No.
I know that when you arrived from the waiting room, a lot of you were put onto silent. I think that's just how the Zoom does it. So you can actually take yourself off mute if you want to put your cursor down to the bottom of the screen. There's a mute button if you want to unmute to ask a question or pop something in the chat. Claire Offers said the dragon sounds amazing. Flying over puppies, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, there is a call out to community groups at the moment if they want to get involved in that project. They're asked, so on the second day, the giant dragon puppet is going to be walking around Wakefield city centre, and they want it to sort of interact with different community groups, whether it's like a bit of a dance or singing something to the dragon. So there is an open call out for that at the moment. If anybody's interested, just send an email through to the Our Year inbox.
Brilliant, thank you. And Claire's mentioned that she thinks you can raise a hand if you go to the reactions button on your screen. I can't see a reactions button, Claire, but I'm a bit of a numpty. I also put in the comments, I was looking at the Yorkshire Sculpture Park recently on their website, and I can't remember exactly, but I do remember it said that if you were a resident of Wakefield, you were allowed free entry during certain weeks, certain months, and I think it's coming up for November. Excuse me. So if anybody is interested, yeah, as long as you live in Wakefield and you've got to show some evidence that you live there.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but it's a really great day out there. There's a nice cafe and stuff, and I noticed it on your film.
Yes.
I've got a question,
absolutely.
actually.
And
Yeah, I was just thinking, you'd said that for constituted groups, you'd got access to funding and for people to join. And I'm just thinking, if people wanted to get together and create a group specifically to access this funding or to take part, would that be something that, would that be allowed?
I don't see why not. I could check that with our culture grants team and let you know. But yeah, I mean, I think that the only criteria is that you're a constituted community group. So yeah, if you were,
and I know we've got a community development team that I'm sure that if a group of people wanted to get together to do something specifically to celebrate our year next year, and they've got a good idea and a group of people that were willing to do that, I'm sure that the council somewhere have got somebody that can help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that was awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, yeah. And if anybody's got
I'm
any
surprised
questions
we've not got any questions, but
now, just send them through to the Our Year inbox. I usually pick those up anyway, so I'll come back to you.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed that presentation. I mentioned, I think it was before I'd let everybody in from the waiting room, but I'd mentioned that unfortunately Erin's poorly today. We don't have any slides, but Claire offers with us, and I think Claire would like to say a few words about the Babby project, Born and Bred in Wakefield project.
Yes, please. I've even managed to knock up some slides, Tracy. Well,
wow, what a girl!
No,
you are amazing, Claire.
I've got quite a few Blue Peter slide type presentations about Babby, ones I made earlier. So I've just updated one. If I can share my screen, she says, hopefully. Okay, so if everybody can see that, okay. I'm sorry I'm standing in for Erin, who isn't very well today. I'm not Judith Holiday, Head of Research. I'm Claire Offer from Wakefield Council. But I just wanted to talk, and I can see you've got a really packed agenda, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about our Born and Bred in Wakefield study. We've decided it can be Baby Wakefield or Babby Wakefield, depending on your preferred accent. So that's absolutely fine. But it stands for Born and Bred in Wakefield. And I was just going to talk quickly about what it is and ways in which it would be absolutely brilliant if we could harness your support. I'm really happy to talk about it. So it's the kind of technical official name for it is a data linkage cohort study. Sounds terrifying, but what it actually is I sometimes say it's a bit like 7-Up, and you have to be as old as me to get 7-Up. But essentially, it means that we sign women up in pregnancy, and then we get their consent to collect all the data that's collected about parents and babies through their childhood. So there is loads and loads of routine data that's collected. We get the mum's consent to pull that all together into a big warehouse and link it up. And what that means is that we've then got a huge resource of data about our cohort of babies in Wakefield as they grow up. And we've got loads and loads of information that researchers can then use to look at what's affecting the health and well-being of children in Wakefield as they grow up. It is a bit of a slow burn. So we've been open for a year now, and babies are being born into the study. We're beginning to collect that data, and gradually over time we'll build up that collection of data, and it'll get richer and richer and richer as the babies get older, and we'll be able to do more and more with it. So every so often people say to me, what have you found out yet? And I have to say, well, not a lot, but in 4 or 5 years' time, we will be finding out all sorts of things, and we'll have an ever-growing collection. So it takes time, but that's what it is. So that's, again, that's just an example of all the data that can potentially get pulled into that collection. Just say we are part of a family of baby studies. So at the time this slide was done, we had Leeds, Doncaster, East London, and Bradford, as well as ourselves. We've got a number of other cohorts doing the same thing right across the country. I think the furthest one I can think of is down in Cornwall, but we've also got Nottingham, Sheffield, I think York is coming on stream. So there's loads and loads of baby cohorts right across the country. And in some cases, it'll be possible to bring those together into one great big, what they call a meta cohort, which will give us even more data to find out about babies and children's health. So there you are. I won't worry about that one too much, but essentially, prioritization, we will work out what we want to know. Then we can use this huge data set to try and answer those questions. And eventually that should lead to us making better decisions and improving the health of our babies and children. So the bit we really, really want help with is around engagement and making sure that not only that we get as many mums as possible signed up to the study, but we need to have all our mums signed up to the study, not just the people who are confident about saying yes when we say, would you like to join a research study? So essentially, the idea is that you are offered recruitment to baby when you book with your midwife, and then you can sign up at any time until the baby's 10 days old. And at the moment, in terms of numbers, we're doing incredibly well. So I can't do a baby presentation without some cute pictures. So this is baby Louis. That's our very first Wakefield baby in July 22. And our 1,000th recruit in April 2003 was baby Orla. There she is. We've now got 1,500 recruits into the study, mums, and so that's mums and babies. And I think about 800 babies born into the study. Our first year's target was something like 200 mums to be signed up. So we kind of smashed that, which we're really pleased about. Next year's target is a bit more challenging. We want to sign up at least 1,300 women. So that's about 110 per month. And ultimately, we want at least, as a minimum, we want to have 60% of all our mums giving birth at mid-Yorkshire hospitals to say yes to being recruited into baby. So the kind of important bit, or I'll go back to the cute pictures for a minute. the kind of really, really important bit, and Darsha may well want to say a bit more about this because she's very involved in the baby engagement side, is we really want to know that we've got everybody engaged in and signing up to baby, because it would be very easy to recruit the mums who are really confident, and when their midwife says to them, would you like to be part of a research study, they say, well, yeah, sure, why not? But we know that we have to work harder to encourage mums who are perhaps less confident with the system. Sometimes that's mums from Black or ethnic minority backgrounds. Sometimes it's mums whose first language may not be English. Sometimes it's mums who are from particular communities, perhaps our Gypsy and Traveller communities, for example. We really need to get those mums into the study, and not just because it's right that we do so, but also because if this research study is going to give us the information we need about Wakefield's babies and children, it's got to include all of Wakefield's babies and children. It's no good if we just get the ones that are happy to sign up at the first opportunity. So the kind of things we are doing, Darsha is chairing a communications and engagement strategy and a group which is very much about supporting that full representative recruitment. Erin, if Erin had been here today, she's a research engagement officer working on baby, and she would have done a much better job of this than me. We've also successfully bid for some funding through the ICS for two, I think they're called community research champions. So we probably want them to come and work with you guys to learn how to be a community champion, but their role will be around research outreach around baby and community research. But the key thing we want to try and achieve is we don't want baby to be a surprise. So we want for every mum in Wakefield, when they walk into that booking appointment and their midwife says, oh, are you interested in born and bred in Wakefield? We don't want them to say, well, what's born and bred in Wakefield? I don't like the sound of that. We want them to say, oh, yes, I know all about baby. I've seen the logo. I've seen the road shows. My friends signed up. Oh, yes, we want that to be a really comfortable thing for them that they already know loads about, and then they're much more ready, we hope, to sign up. I think, having heard Pip talk, I think there are lots of links with our year. We want to have, we've talked about baby on tour, taking baby onto the road. We want to make some resources, some films. We really need to go to where pregnant women are. We don't want to make them come to us. We want to go to them. And, then so I think Erin and Darsha, you might want to say something here. I think we just want to take every opportunity to get out and talk to people about baby. So I hope that's helpful. Sorry, it's a little bit thrown together, Tracy, but Darsha, do you want to add anything, or does anyone have any questions?
I think it was beautifully thrown together, Claire. That was a very professional presentation.
Mightily impressive.
Yes,
Well done, Claire.
it's done in the background very quickly. I think Claire's done a fantastic summary of what baby is and what we are trying to achieve. I think in terms of the ask of the group is, if you as a group would like us to come and talk around baby or baby, around the project, if you have opportunities where we could meet pregnant ladies and have a conversation around babies, we are always happy to have a chat. And we also have a little bit of a group that is growing. It's in development called Baby Club, and that is where we're trying to get people together, wider families as well, whether they are part of the research study or otherwise, to really give us some ideas and pointers on what works well. So, for example, one of the things that we had feedback on is please do share what the study is aiming to do or what you've already achieved. Think about the messaging and think about reaching out into communities. So the ask is if you would like to be part of the Baby Club and give us your views as we go along and help us shape the project and engagement. And if you would like or are able to have us visit your group, that would also be fantastic from our point of view.
Sorry, I couldn't remember your email, Dasha, but I've just popped mine and Erin's in the chat.
Thank you. Sorry, Tracy, you're on mute.
Yeah, I've just noticed. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Claire or Dasha for the baby project? You see, if you're in Barnsley, it's Babby. I can't see anything in the chat. Claire's put her details there. They will come out with the notes, and we'll make sure that Dasha's details are on there as well. That sounds like a lovely project. Thank you very much for sharing that, Claire. You did awesome.
No problem. And it's always nice to have the cute baby photos. It really is.
Absolutely. Thank you ever so much. I think next on the agenda, if I'm right, was winter wellness. Yep, and Manira's there. She's on it. Look with the slides. Thank you, Manira. So we've got Ebony now, who's going to just give a whistle stop tour.
Yep, just a quick one. Hi, everyone. I'm Ebony. I'm a communications officer with Wakefield Council. So we've just developed our new winter campaign. So it's Winter Heroes. This year we're going to be focusing on a range of different messages. So we're telling residents how to keep well, promoting vaccination sites in the district and sharing local stories on how easy it is to get vaccinated, how to keep warm and well, how to look after your mental health, and we'll also be sharing case studies on a range of these topics as well. Yeah, could I get the next slide, please? This is our new identity, so we've gone for bold and vibrant colours. Also, the Winter Heroes ties in nicely with the national NHS campaign, which is Get Winter Strong. So we're using real people instead of the heart mascot we used last year, to sort of show everyone that they can be a winter hero. Our main campaign image, our main campaign image is the little boy, so the top left one. He's used on all of our social media banners. You'll see him around. Yeah, next slide, please. So to promote the campaign this year, we've got a range of different channels. We've got our new webpage, which is www.wakefield.gov/winter heroes. We've also developed a booklet, which has been printed and distributed across the district. This comes with an easy read version and a range of translated documents. Not all of the translated documents are ready yet, so we're not uploading those until they're all with us. We're also sharing messages on social media. So we've got our Facebook and Twitter. The best way to get involved is to find our social media pages and share directly from us. We'll also be sending around a toolkit encouraging people to share their winter heroes with the hashtag WinterHeroesWF. And we've got bin wagons and newspaper advertising too. That's the end of the presentation. If anyone's got any questions.
Thank you, Ebony. And thank you to Marek, who was on the call, because I understand he's helped again with the translations.
Yeah, thank you.
So I know he's worked hard in the background, so thank you for that, Marek. Does anyone have any questions about the Winter Heroes campaign? No? Oh, we've just got somebody in the waiting room. A latecomer. Welcome. Well, thank you for that, Ebony. The website is there so people can have a look. If anybody's unsure about how to share social media posts and wants a bit of a bit of support doing that, please do get in touch with us and we'll support you if we can. And thank you ever so much for sharing information, which you've done all through the COVID Champions, sharing lots of information in any way that you can. It might just be chatting to a neighbour, it might be on social. It's very much appreciated. Oh, I think we've got a message. Let's have a look. Have the booklets been put in the libraries yet? That's Andrea.
Yes, my last update. So they've been sent to distribution, and I think they should arrive at their locations within the next week. So I don't think they're all delivered yet, but within the next week they should be delivered. We're also having a really fun packing day on Thursday. So myself and my colleagues will be in the office packing up the remaining booklets to send around.
And I can say that I'm currently at Hemsworth Library, which is a beautiful library. The staff here are awesome. And this is a, what do you call it when it's somewhere to keep warm, a warm space. Is that right? It's a warm space.
I think they've changed it this year.
Anyway, it's lovely. It's welcoming. I've had a
It's welcome space.
Welcome space, is it? Thank you very much. It's welcome and it's warm, and I've got a nice cup of tea, and people can come. It's free of charge. Hello, Deborah. It's fine that you're late. It's really lovely that you're with us. Thank you for joining us. We were just hearing from Ebony about the Winter Heroes campaign and how people can keep safe and well this winter. If there are no other questions, then I think, Darsha, did you want to say a few words about involvement, or have you covered it with your baby project?
There were a few more. I don't know whether Munira has got the slides.
Yes, we've got some slides. There we go.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. So
she's on it.
She's on it. So there are 3 slides that I was going to share today, or I am going to share today. So the first one is a project that will be starting in November, and that is around cervical screening. And it is a project that is looking at better understanding what help people can get when it comes to taking part to cervical screening, what would help people coming forward for cervical screening, of what some of the barriers might be. It does have a particular focus on Eastern European communities, and the engagement will be a mixture of a survey, but also face-to-face or online conversations, depending on what people prefer. So the ask on this one is, if you know any avenues where we can either publicize or have conversations, please let me know. Please drop me a note. And I know that in the background I've linked with Marek around this project, so that support is also very much appreciated. The next one is a service just to let people know, and I fully appreciate that the slide is very busy, but I just wanted to include all the information. It is around Children's Observation Hub, so it's a service that started in middle of October. It's running locally during the winter months, is going until mid-February, and it is delivered by our Federation of GP Practices, so it's our Connexus Healthcare. It really aims to help families and local parents to look after their children, young children who have symptoms of, for example, fever, respiratory illness, or tummy upset, and it's providing reassurance or additional clinical assessment. And it will be staffed by local GPs and nurses who will be linking in with colleagues at the hospital trust. So that will be the pediatric team, and it can really help to look and monitor the child's condition, and then take steps as needs be. So hopefully, where we can, we will be supporting patients or young patients and their families away from hospital, but there will be a link to hospital care where further care needs to be taking place. On the last slide, there is Equality Delivery System 22. Now, this is a very heavy topic, and it's not as nice with pictures as Claire had around baby, but this is something just to make people aware. It is the Equality Delivery System 22, and it's a tool that has been delivered for NHS organisations. It is set up by NHS England. It really helps us to better understand the approach that we have around addressing inequalities. As part of the process, we will be holding an event on 4th of December. It will be a hybrid event, so part of it will be taking place at White Rose House in Wakefield, and part will be online to suit people to join as they feel is most appropriate. And there will be presentations from different organisations in the area. We are awaiting confirmation as to whether Yorkshire Ambulance Service will be joining us as well. The topic that we will be looking at is maternity, and it is all about what have we done and what we continue to do around maternity services when we're thinking through the lens of equality. Anyone who is interested, please drop me a note if you would like to join, or if you feel that anyone within your group would be interested in joining, please either share information or my email, and I'm more than happy to follow it up. And that's it, Tracy, from me, the 3 slides. So effectively, my 3 slides are, if there is anything on the 3 topics that I've covered, please drop me a note, and also please tell people and your contacts about the projects that we are doing.
Fabulous. Thank you very much. That was very concise. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Darsha? I can't see anything in the chat. No, I don't think so. Thank you very much. As usual, you can always email us at ccc@wakefield.gov.uk if you've got any questions for any of our speakers today. So I've just got a few slides now to finish off with a quick update on the big conversation, of which I've got the booklet here. I'm not sure, I'm hoping that you've all heard of the big conversation. Munira's just popping the slides up. Thank you very much. Next one, please. So the big conversation was a big piece of work that the council did, involving over 1,300 conversations with people around the district. And it was 2 very open-ended questions, which was, what do you most like about living or working or studying here? And we said here because we covered the whole of the district. So like Castleford, Airedale, Lupsert, Hemsworth, we went everywhere. And we asked people what do they really like, and that's using appreciative inquiry, which is focusing on what's strong and not what's wrong. And we normally look, don't we, and say what's wrong with you and can we put it right? So those days are gone, and we're looking at what's brilliant and what can we do more of that's good. And then we asked, the other question was, imagine your area in 10 years' time. What would you like it to be like for people around here? So next slide, please. We had some really good quality and interesting conversations. And the top thing for me personally, when I spoke to people, was they said they loved the people around here. That's what kept them in Wakefield, because the people are friendly, they're welcoming. It's a really nice place to live, actually. And so these were just some of the top headline things. I'm not going into any detail because there's a massive report if you want to know more, but people really appreciated in Wakefield we've got lots of green spaces and a sense of belonging. People felt that they belonged in Wakefield and they were near loved ones, getting around to places and connecting with others. Next slide, please. So we asked about, imagine your area 10 years from now, what would you like it to be like? And people said they wanted to celebrate and do more things together. So Pip, I'm sure that ties in nicely with our year, doesn't it? That they wanted things to be on their own doorstep, more smaller activities, people living and supporting each other. And they said that people wanted to be involved in decisions right from the start, things that affected their lives. And this is what the big conversation is about, including people from the outset. We wanted to be good role models for our children. Not surprisingly, particularly for our older people, of which I'm one now. More public toilets, please. And that everyone was involved in protecting the environment. So those, again, were just some really key headlines. Next slide, please. So this booklet, this great big book here, of which you can find in a library, we can send them out if people want to have a copy. It's just telling you about the story so far, because this is a really long journey. It's a new way of working, a different way of working, and it's going to take some time. It's not a quick fix. But a couple of things that came up really strongly was the citizen coin idea. I'm not sure if you've heard about that, but it's an exciting new development. It's an app that recognises and rewards volunteering. So if you're a volunteer, you can actually get coins on an app. If you don't have a smartphone, that's fine. You can come to any of our wonderful libraries, and there are other places, and you can get a coin, and then you can exchange those coins for things local in your community. For it might be money off hairdressing, for example, something like that. And then a big piece of work that we're undertaking in the council is about healthy and sustainable communities. So we're having lots more conversations in 10 specified areas around the district about health and well-being, looking at what's working well and what can we do more of that's well. Next slide, please. So what next? We're going round the conversationalists, of which there are quite a few of them, and I'm one, and we're going around telling people about the story so far and letting people know what we're up to and what the conversations were like. And we're continuing to have little big conversations on things like healthy weight, museums, health and well-being, and much more. Next slide, please. So if you want to know more, you can ask me anytime, any place, that's fine. But we also have a QR code and a link there that you can go to the website and have a look. There's some really awesome interactive newsletters that Ebony and her team have made, which are super. And I think that's it for me. Next slide, please, Manira. Thank you. So do we have any questions about the big conversation? Any comments?
I was just going to, if I might
Yes,
jump in there, Tracy, I was going to say Citizen Coin, actually, that's, we're going to be using that for our year. Yes, so I think we're going to be sort of piloting the app. So all of the our year volunteering opportunities are going to be on Citizen Coin.
That's fantastic. Thank you. I've done volunteering many years, and sometimes you volunteer and you love it. You do it because you want to, don't you? You don't want to be rewarded. And the whole point of being a volunteer is that you're not rewarded. But we want to try and encourage people who've not volunteered before, possibly younger people as well. And it's just a bit of a thank you, and it makes them feel appreciated and valued, and it's worked well elsewhere. So that's great to know, Pip. So I'm really looking forward to that app and seeing how it goes. Thank you very much. Next slide, please. And I think this is all from me now. Hopefully, I've sent out all the COVID champions an email separately a little while ago, but this is a bit of a reminder. Papyrus, who are actually a young person's organisation, are providing some suicide prevention training. It's not, well, it is for young people, but it also covers adults, and adults are very welcome to attend, and the information is just as valuable for adults. It's a 3.5-hour training, and it's been funded, but it will be free to us if we can get, I think it's about 30 people together. I've got 20 odd people already, and so we've gone ahead and we've booked a session for Tuesday the 16th of January at 9:30. We can do it by Zoom, but I've also booked the Featherstone room in Wakefield 1 if anybody wants to join us, but they're not able to attend via Zoom, or they prefer to do it face to face. Oh, it does say there, look, 35 participants are required for a funded session. I'm in discussions to see if we can get some funding from elsewhere if I can't quite get the 35. But it covers attitudes and myths and stigma around suicide. I know it's a really difficult topic and it's not for everyone, but I think sometimes if you're armed with information and you know how to support someone that you're worried about or where to go for advice and information, that can be really empowering. And actually these kind of training sessions do save lives. So if anybody would like to take part in that training, please do get in touch with me. Helen, yes, please, thank you. She's put in the chat, do you want me to advertise the course? Yes, please, I do. I want as many people as possible in Wakefield and beyond, actually, but this is particularly, Benny, thank you very much. I'll bob you on my list. It's open to everyone, for people who work for the council as well as COVID champions and residents and members of the Positive Mental Health Network. So if anybody would like to do it, I would really welcome you. Thank you very much. I think that's all of our slides now, Manira. Would you please check if it is? I don't think there's anything left. Well, thank you, Darsha. Darsha said that she'll share information with her colleagues as well. So unless there are any questions, and I'll give you a few more minutes in case anybody wants to unmute and say anything, But in the meantime, thank you very much to all of our speakers. You were excellent today. Thank you to Pip, Dasha, Claire for stepping in at the last minute. that was really impressive, Claire. And Munira, thank you very much for sharing, and Ebony and everybody involved for listening. Thank you ever so much indeed. I'll stop recording now if I can. But if we've any more questions, any comments,